What? I don't remember that part.
This is as bad as it gets.
Do you remember seeing Bill O'Reilly on TV, like back when he was on TV?
Mm-hmm.
Liberal women and feminist women particularly, they're looking to be offended every 2 minutes. I'm just trying to process that milk thing and put you in Whole Foods searching for milk.
So Bill O'Reilly was actually sued in 2004 by one of his producers named Andrea Macris. The details of the complaint were completely lurid, and they were publicly available. Do you remember hearing about it?
No.
No, me neither. But like, apparently it was like famous enough that like Conan O'Brien made fun of Bill O'Reilly for it.
Oh.
Yeah. So the allegations against Bill O'Reilly were that he would like basically like try to have phone sex with his producer, and the producer would be like, no, thank you, no, thank you, and he would just sort of continue to do it.
That is so weird. It seems like it's such a kind of a weak and cowardly way to harass someone too.
I guess we should like look at the settlement agreement.
Oh yeah.
And let's rate how horrifying they are on a scale of like 1 to 10, where 10 is like utterly horrifying.
Okay.
The nature and terms of this settlement agreement, and the existence of this agreement, and the fact and any amount of payments are completely confidential.
So does that mean you can't say we settled?
Well, they have that exhibit at the end of things that you are allowed to say.
Okay, that's right.
I mean, this is like within the range of something that you could see in real life, and that wouldn't be like crazy, just this part.
But of course, this is also, of course, one of the big hot button issues right now is whether or not this kind of confidentiality operates against the public interest.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they will not talk about, write about, publicize information concerning any claims, any facts or allegations underlying the actions. This, to me, this is actually a little bit less standard, and it's actually this kind of clause that a lot of the Me Too statutes are intended to address, is to make these sorts of provisions unenforceable, which I think is probably a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, whether fiction or nonfiction, can't write about it even as fiction.
This one is like a 5, maybe. You know, this one is like, you can see a situation where it's not a cover-up, right? Where the parties are just like at each other's throats and they agree they're not going to say anything anymore. For example, there was this case involving like a psychic and then this guy who was like a psychic debunker. And they would like sue each other for defamation, and then they would settle it and be like, we agree we're not going to talk. And then like one of them would like, you know, write a book or something about how the other one was a fraud, and they would sue each other again. Both of them constantly breaching their attempt to bring the lawsuit to an end.
And then they got married. That's like a Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks story. So.
Yeah, so I mean, I could see a situation in which that would be like, okay. I mean, this was obviously an attempt to cover it up. I actually find the statement they were agreed to make kind of horrifying.
Oh, here it is. Oh, the parties regret that this matter has caused tremendous pain, and they have agreed to settle, so they can say that. All cases and claims have been withdrawn. All parties have agreed there was no wrongdoing whatsoever. We now withdraw any extortion occurred.
Yeah, Bill O'Reilly actually like sued her for extortion when she sued him for harassment. What do you think of this?
I mean, this is, you know, again, this is sort of that Me Too problem, which is wanting to respect people's rights to create their private agreements and to keep things confidential, and recognizing that by agreeing that there was no wrongdoing, you know, we basically erased those actions from the record, and people in the future will have no way of knowing any of these things. I mean, this is a problem that exists in so many contexts right now, where we just don't have, you know, we're by this sort of short-term thinking around how we manage conflict. From your perspective, employment law, is this kind of a common way to phrase the
Mhm.
statement.
No, it's not. I mean, it's got too much like both sides ism. Like, why would her lawyer agree to this? Like, the parties regret this matter has caused pain. Like, all parties agree there was no wrongdoing. Like, as if Miss Macris did anything wrong. Like,
It sounds like a
that's
divorce.
yeah, you're right. They're making it sound like a divorce. It wasn't a divorce.
They weren't married.
It's like the Conan O'Brien skit where Bill O'Reilly was like, "I'm gonna sue you," and he was like, "You're the one that called me." It's like, literally all I did was answer your stupid phone call. Macris, the plaintiff, and then her lawyer Morelli say they have given O'Reilly a list of all the materials which relate to any claims, any facts, any allegations underlying the action.
Okay, and so this provision is just about they've given them the list, but this is called turnover of materials. So you'd think that would mean that they'd actually turned over the materials, not just the list. The originals and all copies.
There we go. The originals and all copies,
specifically including audio tapes, videotapes, and digital recordings, have been turned over to O'Reilly prior to this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gosh, I wonder what he did with them. He
probably destroyed them
in a little box. No, he's weird. I don't know. I mean, but this is the horrifying paragraph for sure.
You think this one's horrifying? How horrifying do you think this one is?
It's expressly agreed that should any materials become public by any means through third parties after the agreement, all parties will disclaim them as counterfeit or forgeries.
What? I don't remember that part.
This is as bad as it gets.
All parties will disclaim them as counterfeit or forgeries. That is horrifying. I didn't even notice that one before.
That's so bad.
Okay, so what number do you give that?
Oh, I think this is an 11 because the thing is that it's immoral. It seems unethical. It seems unprofessional for the lawyers to put it in there. I mean, it's so degrading to think that you could be forced to lie as pursuant to an agreement about your own memories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your own experience, that you would be forced to disavow it. I mean, that's just gross.
It's like contractual gaslighting.
Have you ever seen that before?
No, nothing. I've never seen anything like that. Nothing even close. In real life, no. As a lawyer, no. Never seen anything like that. This is not standard.
It's like this is like a exhibit A of why settlements are so problematic.
So much confidence. Okay, yeah, here it is. All right. As an inducement to O'Reilly and Fox News to enter this agreement, the Morelli firm agrees to provide legal advice to O'Reilly regarding sexual harassment matters.
Morelli and Morelli's firm they're supposed to be advocates for the plaintiff here.
Yeah. This is crazy to me. I mean, they're basically, the only reason you would agree to provide legal advice to O'Reilly is to create a conflict of interest so that you can never represent this person again, and you can never represent anyone adverse to Bill O'Reilly in any other sexual harassment matters. And now that you've represented him, you can't ever sue him again.
That seems like a strange thing for a law firm to agree to do. It'd be great to know what the plaintiff felt about this particular part, or if she was even really aware that this was part of the what was being discussed.
I've never seen anything like this. Like, to me, this is even more weird than turn over the evidence thing. I mean, maybe she didn't care because she was done.
Well, she'd already agreed to describe the items as forgeries, so it'd be hard for someone to know what is normally in an agreement like this. Mm-hmm. So they have to rely on their lawyer. Mm-hmm. And then it turns out, but what happens when your lawyer, as part of the agreement, agrees to assist the other side? It's like she needs another lawyer to check on her first lawyer. Yeah. You know, how many lawyers does one person need? It's ridiculous. You should be able to trust your lawyer. This one
really gets me. To me, this one is an 11.
Yeah, this one is just shameful. I give this one an 11 too.
The other thing I don't understand is why Bill O'Reilly was so obsessed with like getting confidentiality, because like the complaint was filed, it was publicly known, like, and nothing happened. Like, why was he so afraid of more stuff coming out? It was already out and nobody cared. Like, To me, the problem was nobody cared.
Well, that's a really good point. I mean, why lock it up so tight when we already knew all the content because the complaint had already been filed? He wanted everything that she had that had that evidence of those assertions on it. So I wonder what that's about. Is that just a power thing? I can make you lie about this?
Yeah, he can lie about it. That's what it is. He can continue to lie about it. I think you're right. I think that's what it was. He wanted to be able to lie about it forever.
Yeah, so he sort of purchased the ability to lie and have other people back up his lies. In the person who accused him, in fact. But I guess that all didn't work out though, because it all ended up coming out anyway.